And we're back with what?
We're all back and fixed.
We're fixed. And
Yes,
we are
sir.
back with The Art of Dreaming with Michael Hemmingson and Tammy Sutton. You're still with us, Tammy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now you sound like you're in the bathroom.
I was in the fridge.
Oh, you're in the fridge. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, we were talking back to films. So you got this graphic novel project going. You were telling me the other day you were going to go to New Orleans for some fundraising stuff. For which film was that?
For scouting. All of the above.
Oh, okay.
I want to live in New Orleans.
There's one thing maybe people out there don't realize is that the way you fund movies, well, there's all kinds of ways. You get a bunch of people with a little bit of money, one money person. There's film funds like Film Angels. You can go to a bank. You can go to drug dealers. In fact, what some people don't realize also in Hollywood is that some little independent films or even bigger ones are actually funded by pornography, such as the Here Channel. They actually get their money from. Well, this is what I know, that they get their money from gay and lesbian porn films. Anyway, whatever way you need to fund your film.
By hook or by crook.
By hook or by crook, and there's certainly all kinds of levels of prostitution in Hollywood. Especially if you read Joe Esterhouse's memoir and how he got, what was that, his first film, The Dangerous, the one with Michael,
Mike, we've been joined by 604.
604, caller, you're on the line.
Well, good evening, folks. This is SJ. I'm delighted to hear both of you.
Oh, we're delighted to hear you.
I'm having a good time listening to the pro side of production. Tammy, I'm also an avid collector. We should talk about that sometime.
Hit me up on Facebook.
I still have some new in package G.I. Joes.
The one thing I don't collect.
Too bad.
I
have others.
Wait, though, I am looking for a good price on the English version of G.I. Joe, the Action Man Colditz action figures. They've actually got the German soldiers with the guard gate and the German Shepherd. I do want that from the 60s.
New in package?
Doesn't have to be. I'll take them broken, missing head.
Oh, you are an avid collector. I love you.
Oh, yeah.
She plays with her toys, right?
Right. Well, so do I. I use the G.I. Joes to mock into my jet fighter plane flying models.
Nice.
Oh, they're dandies. I have a beauty. Also, I'm an old tech director, so it's a delight to hear an inside voice speaking. We seldom get that view.
Yeah,
what exactly is a tech director? Oops.
It's a question of timing on the voice with internet radio shows, especially with Skype. It's a new technology, and we're training kids how to be able to pay attention to 6 conversations amongst 18 or 20 people at the same time. It's a wonderful guide to altered consciousness. By the way, if you ever want to explore Carlos Castaneda, we would be delighted to go along with you in that because he's significant to many of us who have been researching alternate thinking.
Oh, yeah. I'll jump into that. I need to reread. I got his books. I need to reread them. I reread them about every 5 years.
Well, they became, I think, a real adjunct to most people that were exploring expanded consciousness. And I'm certainly a fan of the potential for consensus, group shared awareness and maybe shared consciousness eventually. But I wanted to basically call in and break the ice for everyone else to call in and tell you how much we appreciate you doing this and how much fun you've been to listen to.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, without much ado, I think I'll sign off for the moment. Love you all.
Okay,
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Is there any other callers, or is that it?
Not at the moment.
Okay. The thing with Carlos Castaneda is a lot of people have wondered if Don Juan Mateus even existed. There's no question about his existence from the first book. Actually, what the first book was Carlos Castaneda's PhD dissertation in anthropology that the University of California Press published, and his anthropological focus was on medicinal plants, mushrooms and peyote and stuff like that. And then that book just hit a nerve. A lot of people resonated with it, and it went popular. So as time went on, he had to keep producing books because they were bestsellers. So people started wondering if Don Juan was just using that as a vehicle to transmit his theories and stuff like that. Well, back to toys and films. I collect Godzilla toys, actually. Those are my things.
I like Godzilla, but you gotta pick your battles. I've got a Godzilla on top of my refrigerator, but I don't have a lot of Godzilla stuff. But I still love them dearly. And
these things are investment items. As Jay was saying, he has original G.I. Joes in the package. I mean, those things probably go several $100s up towards $1,000. Like I know some of my Godzillas do. The Godzillas made by Bandai or specific for a certain film, each year they go up in value around $20 to $30. Oh,
absolutely. You know what? I lied. I do have an awesome Godzilla. One of my friends works at Sony. He brought me over a huge Hellboy action figure, but he brought me the huge gray Godzilla that spits fire and acts a fool and growls and does his thing. But it's huge and I love it. But I got a friend, Jules, that saw it in my office and she was drooling over it, and I just don't have room for him, so I might have to move him on if she wants him. So.
You do know that Sony isn't Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Sony stands for Standard Oil New York. No, really, it does.
We've been joined by Weisenberg.
Hey, Weisenberg, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys this evening? Well, you sound great.
Hey.
I actually have a question about production.
Sure.
Well, in the production of a film, you got like location scouts. They go out, they find suitable, mostly finding affordable spots to actually shoot the movie. In the recent past, Prague has been like the go-to spot for a lot of movies, mostly because it's cheap. I've noticed a lot of upcoming films, like you were talking about yours from London, and I see them in New Zealand. And I'm wondering what the current best price for the production dollar country is right now.
There's not a simple answer, but I can give you some tips on it. One of my main attractions to filming in London and in the UK in general, it was the tax incentive. It was a fantastic tax incentive. It was credibly earned and easily retrieved. I really enjoyed it. I filmed in Prague as well. I did not utilize their tax credit, but it was very cheap to live there and work there. The first thing is if you're working on a production where it can be filmed anywhere, the first question as a producer you ask yourself is, where do I want to go? I love to travel. Los Angeles is the film capital of the world, but it's not film friendly for tax incentives, and that's why so many productions, they call them runaway productions, but we're not running away. First and foremost, I love to travel. That's the bottom line. I don't run away from LA to go make extra money in these other countries or other states. I do it because I like to travel, and oftentimes the things I need are not in Los Angeles. My movies aren't set in Los Angeles. I don't actively search out films that are set in downtown LA or Hollywood. It's just not practical. But overseas, there's a lot of stuff going on all over Central Europe. I love Prague. Barbara Nedeljkova, that stars in my film, she's actually Slovak, but she grew up in Prague, and we've had a beautiful time. And also, my versus reality, it's going to Canada. Canada has amazing tax incentives, but when you go, you don't take an American crew with you when you go out of the country. You utilize the local people. That's part of the massive tax incentive. Italy has a great tax incentive too that they had to fight for, and they just got it renewed almost what looks like indefinitely on paperwork.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know that after Katrina, Louisiana was trying bringing in all kinds of film crews. Giving them free hotels.
That's why I'm going to New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Hellboy earlier. Hellboy was filmed.
New Orleans, okay.
Which, by the way, I'm one of those, I won't buy a DVD without the director's commentary on it. I'm like a geek about that. Because they don't always just have the director and the actors.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. I'm cutting out. Oh, sorry.
Not for me.
Oh, okay. I'm cutting out for him. Well, I can say that of all the director's commentaries I've ever listened to, Hellboy wins.
That's a good one.
We've been joined by 801.
Yes, this is Dr.
Hi, 801.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Great.
Hey, Dr. Livingston. Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it? I'm Utah.
What part?
Utah.
Oh, Utah. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you anywhere near the new NSA facility they're building out there?
I don't know where that's at. So probably not. I'm actually close to Park City.
Oh, okay.
So
You ever
I
go
like
to Sundance?
skiing and stuff. Huh?
You ever?
Sundance?
You ever,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You bet. Sundance is a nice favorite. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, Sundance, Alta Views, the skiing, everything. That's a good life. A lot of good folks. Anyway, all right. So let me just kind of tippy toe into this. I don't know who all I have here, and many of you may not know me. So maybe we should get going with some introductions. Right? Okay. So you guys kind of lead into this because I'm just your guest and glad to be here.
Well, tell us who you are and what you're up to.
What I'm up to. Wow. That's a loaded one. I'm Dr. Dale Livingston. I am a well-known non-bar attorney that has been fighting these battles for many years now. I am recognized in a number of legal circles as the number one constitutional law expert in the nation, barring none. My knowledge of the U.S. Constitution and law as such is not surpassed. I'm the only attorney, period, of any kind that ever had not one, but two U.S. district courts tied up to where all judges in both courts were involuntarily recused. If any of you know anything about recusal, you know that getting one judge to be recused in any case with them is like pulling hen's teeth, and to get a whole court tied up in that condition is worse. It's almost unimaginable. And I had both the U.S. District Court of Massachusetts and the U.S. District Court of Rhode Island involuntarily recused all judges of both courts because the nature of the lawsuit that I brought against the both of them contained issues and facts that they had never seen before, but they couldn't dispute.
I think you want legal wars.
Yeah, I think you're on the wrong show.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same. Sorry, though.
Okay. So
you're wanting Bo and Rocco's show?
Rocco show, that's it.
That starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but that's 10 o'clock Eastern, right?
Right, which is in another 45 minutes.
You got about 45 minutes left.
Wait. Hang on. Okay. Starting at 10 and then 9. Oh, that was at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, never mind. Okay, so I'm early then.
Yes, sir. It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting show.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm known coast to coast and around the world, actually.
Okay, well, Dr. Livingston, we'll
thank
listen
you,
to you.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. You carry on for whatever you're talking about. Have fun, and again, thank you.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye. For a minute there, Tammy, I thought he was pitching us a movie or something.
I'm like, yeah. I'll put you in touch with my attorney.
Right. No, well, no, what he was talking about though sounded really interesting though.
Yeah.
I'm really into constitutional law and what's going on there.
Speaking of which, I thought you were going to mention Ted Nugent, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Dude.
So in the news today, apparently Ted Nugent is being investigated by the Secret Service. He publicly said if Obama gets reelected, Ted Nugent will either be dead or not around anymore, or in jail. That's what he said. I'll either be in jail or dead.
Dead or in jail, he said. But I listened to the entire. It was at the NRA did the webcast, and I actually watched the whole thing. He's a serious freedom activist. They just want to uphold the Constitution and keep the fact that we need and deserve the right to bear arms, and most importantly, protect ourselves. I mean, I watched the whole video, and regardless of your political stance, Ted is extremely articulate and extremely passionate about his cause. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't love his hunting expeditions and all the hardcore stuff he does. But, however, I've got to admit, he loves and gives our soldiers who volunteer to fight every day for upholding our Constitution and freedom. He really loves them dearly, and, their deaths are the debt that all men pay on our behalf. So I have to appreciate, at least half of his movement.
Well, what really gets to me, I saw the commercials a couple times today, is, the Wounded Warrior commercials,
right.
Showing these guys with missing legs and arms playing with their children. And, I just these guys are getting hurt over there for bankers and for oil interests, nothing to do with patriotism or protecting our nation.
Yeah, and they're still volunteers at this point, putting it on the line every day. I mean, that's that's why I want to do my World War II project so dearly, because it's still, it's still happening. It's war as we know and live it. It's here. And, we didn't have the internet back in World War II or Vietnam. It was just a lot of those documents are gone or never to be seen, or stories that we don't know about. But now we get, soldiers filming off their helmets in the middle of battle, and, some, stuff that's pretty hardcore. But that's our society today, is we have to see it. And, I don't like to see it. I don't want to see it get dissolved and water down the realities of the stuff that's happening.
Well, let's talk about war movies.
Oh.
The Inglourious Bastards. Here we have Tarantino doing a story in an alternate reality, alternate history.
Yeah, no, I'm friends with Quentin, and we got in a little bit of an argument because I said I have over 10,000 movies, and they're all cataloged and categorized. So if I want to watch war films, I go to my war films folder. But I asked him, and he got pissed off, but I asked him, I go, should I put Inglourious Bastards in my fantasy section or my World War II section? And he hit the roof. He's like, World War II, of course. And I'm like, you do realize that there's teenagers running around thinking that we killed Hitler in a movie theater. So, which he's about to unleash Django Unchained as well with
I heard about that,
with his slave fantasy movie. So it's a great script. I read it in Cannes this year. It was a real fun read, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to see Leonardo DiCaprio in it, most importantly. So.
I know you got a lot of criticism about Inglourious Bastards, that he didn't indicate that it was an alternate history movie. And you will have a lot of younger people who watch that and think that it's based on fact.
He can do anything. He's actually down in New Orleans filming. I'm hoping to get down and visit him on set. I was actually in Berlin scouting the World War II movie at the studio at Babelsberg when he was shooting Inglourious Bastards. So I missed him on set, and he kind of told me off a bit. And I was like, you were busy filming. I wouldn't want you walking on my set while I was filming. He's like, but you were on the stage. I was like, I know. But
what is he filming down there now? Do you know?
Django Unchained.
Oh, okay. I thought that was coming out imminent.
No, I think it's a Christmas release. Don't quote me on that. But no, he's down there filming it.
Oh, that's right. The poster, all it says, their poster they're putting out, all it says is the new film by Tarantino. No title or anything.
I told him he doesn't even have to do advertising. You know, all the P&A is something we haven't talked about, but the film budgets, besides their actual production budget, have P&A budgets where they have to do tons of advertising. I told him all he needs to do is take out a black and white ad in the penny saver when his movie's coming out, and everyone's going to go see it anyway, just to save all the P&A money. Which is true.
Well, we can talk about that. So once you've shot your film, that's not even half the battle yet. I mean,
no, it's not precious.
Post production, the P&A as you talked about. Well, go ahead and tell us what's involved with it.
Yeah, so once you do post-production, which is when you do fix, the sound editing, the picture editing, color timing, all that fun stuff, then it moves on to distribution, which if you're doing a theatrical release, you have to find additional funds. And to be honest, there's movies that they say, like, I don't want to name anyone out, but some very big studio horror films that they said were made for, $50,000 that go on to make $30 million. Well, I guarantee you they put at least $5 million into the press and advertising, which is what P&A stands for. It's not a secret. It's just not very well known. And most filmmakers themselves don't deal with distribution or P&A or deal with film houses, which are the exhibitors, the actual movie theaters. But I actually do. I'm very hands-on from development through distribution. I can't imagine a world of filmmaking without that, but a lot of my filmmaking peers and friends have no idea what's going on in distribution. But P&A is the most basic sense of it is every time your movie plays, like say Friday night, your exhibitor, your movie theater that you're showing it in, you have to have a P&A budget to run commercials, the trailers, to run advertising in the newspaper, telling them where it's going to play. It's a pseudo guarantee for your exhibitors. It's something they expect you to do to show that, people are going to come out and see your movie. Because basically, if people don't know about it, they're not going to come out and see it. So you work the odds. So the more press and advertising you have, the more bigger box office you'll have. That's just the way it works. I'm not making this up or being snide. It's just a reality. So if you make a $25 million movie, you might spend $5 to $7 million promoting it. So you really have a $27 million movie, not a $20 million movie before it can recoup any funds. So when you see $250 million movies, you better believe that it's a much bigger budget than that with the P&A. And they also do, back to advertising, is the Oscar campaigns. Oscar campaigns aren't free, and you don't get in just because you got a great movie. Once you get in, you've got those people fight tooth and nail to get their films seen and advertised. I mean, that's definitely, there's no joke. It's called the film business on purpose. It's a business.
Well, another thing is, unless a film is already backed by a major studio with its own distribution system, you got your film done, now you need to find a distributor. And that's what, like, Sundance, anywhere from Sundance down to the Huntington Beach Film Festival, these people are exhibiting their films to hopefully get a distributor to pick them up.
Absolutely.
And, they could be, what was, I can't remember, what was that movie with the guys, they kept saying, "You're so money," I can't think of that movie now.
Was that a Judd Apatow film? I can't remember.
No.
Oh,
anyway.
Swingers?
Swingers, that's it.
I walked out of that movie.
Oh, did you?
It was too close to home.
Well, I know that the film was initially bankrolled by one of the actors or the director's father or something. He put his house up, and but I think they sold it for $500,000, but it went on to be big, and
yeah.
everyone in that film, their careers have pretty much gone off.
Yeah.
But this falls into the category of dreams. These are things that all aspiring filmmakers dream about. That dream deal with a distributor, that dream production, or the dream of it being shown all over the country in film houses, and the dream of picking up awards, and the continue. For every one of these guys, there's 2,000-3,000 people who don't get it.
Right. More than that.
More than that, yeah.
I mean, and the one thing too is I just want to mention that I try to tell young filmmakers that always ask me a million questions and I can't answer them all. Leave your vanity at home. If the only reason you're making a movie is so you can be famous, that's like telling me you learn to play guitar because you just want to be a rock star, not because you're talented and it's in your soul. I mean, the filmmakers the one thing Quentin told me, he said, Tammy, it's stamina. It's sticking it out, because there's going to be a lot of hard, lonely days, and, everyone's not always going to love everything you do, but you just take that one that hits and that you just skyrocket. And, you had to work hard for that stuff. He had a really tough time, and I'm sure I haven't read his books, but I'm sure he's got some kind of autobiography out there somewhere, or, there's enough stuff now on the internet, about him, but it's really, and I agree with him, it's about stamina and going through all the motions and just keep forging ahead. But, if you want to do it because you want to be famous and be, get awards and be loved, you're probably not going to last that long, and you probably have less of a chance than someone who's just absolutely passionate and is going to explode if they do not tell their story.
Well, didn't he? His start was he got Reservoir Dogs in the Sundance Screenplay Contest, or Screenplay Lab. I
know it was in the lab. I don't know if it
was.
Yeah, I know it was in the lab, and I've seen some footage from it. And Harvey Keitel coming on, and I know Lawrence Bender worked hard to get that going. That's why he's still around.
Well, the story I heard was Lawrence Bender had actually submitted the script, and Tarantino didn't submit the script to Sundance.
Oh, I don't know. We geek out talking about movies and comics and stuff. We don't really talk about the history of our lives. But I'll ask him.
For anyone who doesn't know out there, the Sundance Screen Lab, it's separate from the festival. They have Screen Lab, Director Lab, Producer Labs. They choose, I think, about 10 screenplays a year. Your screenplay doesn't even have to be finished. It's basically they workshop it. They often bring in known actors, like Harvey Keitel did with Reservoir Dogs, and they'll film a few scenes. But this also helps in finding financing for your project.
Yeah, anything that has Sundance circling around it is pretty good deal. But a lot of those are, I don't want to also, I'm not going to name anyone out, but there's a lot of people. Sundance is a very well respected festival. It's also a big vanity festival, and I've dealt with that with my own experience, and executive producers who just die because their film couldn't get into Sundance, and I'm like, that's not why we made this movie,
Right.
But if Sundance likes your movie, you're pretty much guaranteed. Maybe you won't make a lot of money on the sale if you get lowballed, but you'll definitely get another film to direct or write or produce. That's for sure. Because investors know that name.
I've never done anything in the sphere of Sundance other than being a semi-finalist on the screenplay thing. But I have been involved a lot with Slam Dance. Now, Slam Dance is a sort of alternative to Sundance. In fact, there's several little mini festivals that kind of orbit around Sundance at the same time, like Digidance, Slam Dance. What's that?
Trauma Dance.
Oh, yeah, Trauma Dance, exactly. Now